So when it comes to competition, I think people look at it wrong. They think that in order to compete, I gotta hate you.
Exactly. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite real estate agent, Mark Anthony, and I am back with another hat. Welcome to our next episode in Real Estate for the Soul. And today I have a really awesome guest. We met 3 years ago when I got licensed in real estate. He is also an Army veteran like me. We just had a long talk about what he's doing now because he is playing Monopoly and he's just killing it. So I want to introduce you to my really good friend, credit repair, social media guru, Dylan. How do you pronounce your last name?
Shively.
There we go.
Everybody does it too. So like hi guys.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. They go to say Shively because like that's like how, and I just accept either way at this
You're
point.
like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
fuck
it's
it.
fine. As
Yeah.
long as you know that like the first name, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
D, llama, whatever.
Yeah. Wow. I was waiting.
You know, I had to.
Yeah.
And when I have it recorded, I feel like I absolutely have to just jump in for it.
Fair enough.
So James Warren Group, I met y'all 3 years ago. I was a baby real estate agent. You came into my first brokerage at Redbird Realty, and y'all were like, sup, credit repair. And I was like, what the fuck is this? We all need credit. We all need credit repair. And some people like to believe that they can do it themselves. What makes y'all different than any other big box? And also, why should people get credit repair through James Warren instead of trying to do it themselves?
Man, the first question's loaded.
Yeah,
that's like a lot. All right, we got 45 minutes, right? No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm not gonna do it that
Wow.
long. But
Okay. Well.
so here's the thing, and it's actually one I didn't even get to tell you off camera yet.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll bring it up now. So James Warren Group is like the white glove or the full service. What we do is we help people not just understand how credit works and help them fix it, but we help them build it if they have no credit. We walk them through it. Doesn't matter how bad they think it is. We give them the game plan on how to do better, how to change it, because none of it's permanent. And then through that, we've done a lot of the education classes with realtors and lenders because we found when we teach people how the game works, then they know how to play. So we're reading them the rules and regs and says, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if you've seen it, but last year we launched what was called Dispute Eagle. So I've been preaching for the longest, and it's going to sound crazy for a minute, but it'll make sense. James Warren Group is a convenient service.
Okay.
I like to explain credit repair as an industry. It doesn't matter who the credit repair person or company is. You should only pay a credit repair company to help you if you don't mind paying for the convenience. I compare it to like mowing your grass.
Yeah.
When it's 105 degrees in San Antonio, I'm not going fucking outside to mow my grass.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
I'm gonna hire the dudes for $50. It's gonna be like 4 of them. They're gonna do it in 20 minutes. It's gonna look better than what I could do, and I'm not gonna sweat.
Exactly.
So like
That makes sense.
I pay for it, right? So I'll exchange money for someone else to handle it. Could I do it? Yes, but I don't want to.
Right.
That's how you should think about credit repair, regardless if it's us or not.
Okay.
Now, Dispute Eagle is pissing a lot of people off in our industry because what it is it's a software we developed that helps people fix their credit on their own.
Oh.
So yeah, I know I didn't even get to tell you yet. So that's like a genuine like O right there.
Yeah,
so,
I saw the logo and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But I never looked into it.
So here's how it works. I've been preaching to people, if you take what I teach you and you apply it, you can fix it on your own.
Okay.
If you want to save money, I'll show you the best way to do it. If you don't mind paying for it and you got a busy life and you want someone else to handle it, you don't want to take the time, that's fine. But now we have Dispute Eagle. So how that works is it'll take your credit report, it'll scan it. It already knows what to do. It already knows what's wrong. It already knows like, hey, here's this collection, here's this late payment. It scans it.
No shit.
And says, here you go. Here's what we found.
Okay.
Do you want to fix this?
Yeah.
And once you click the boxes and it's yes, now it creates the letter right on the spot. So you don't have to think about the letter. You don't have to think about what to say, how to write it. You don't have to think where to mail it because it's going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to give you all the instructions on how to do it. Every single thing is done. There's no thinking in the process.
No
so
shit.
This is me putting my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
That's where we actually spent our most money, more than the other shit we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could go download it right now or you could go to the website right now and it only costs you your credit reports. The entire system is free. All you do is you pay for your credit reports.
No way.
And the reason we did this was because now since we own both, we have James Warren Group and Dispute Eagle.
Yeah.
If you say, fuck it, I want to try myself, and you're 3-4 months into it, and you're like, man, I'm tired of mailing my own letters.
Right.
If you hire James Warren Group, Now we will discount or credit you the difference of what you spent on the DIY, and you're only going to pay the difference with us.
Nice.
Right? So you didn't lose money by trying it yourself because we're not going to force somebody to make a decision they're not comfortable with.
Okay.
So if they're like, I don't have the money right now, but I need to fix it now.
Yeah.
Use Dispute Eagle. Let's say 4 months goes by at $40, $160.
Which isn't bad.
Right?
Yeah.
In 4 months, you paid $160, but I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Well, if you hire James Warren Group, then instead of the full price we would have charged you, from the beginning, we'll discount that 160 and you'll just pay the difference. So you've never lost money to do it.
Okay.
And in that big explanation is me saying, I think Dispute Eagle is the reason that James Warren Group is different.
Nice. And it's so crazy. I like I said, I saw the logo and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought they already dispute shit, I didn't read into it, that is really awesome. So for people who are just like in the mindset of, I can do it myself, maybe I just need a little guidance. That's more suited for them. But if you're someone like me, cause y'all took on my credit and I'm like, I don't have the fucking time. Yeah, in the military, we made bad decisions and I have 42 credit cards. And I was like, look, y'all just figure this out. That's for the people who are like, look, please just take this. It's 120 degrees outside, mow my lawn for me. I'm with that. I love that. Okay.
And fun fact, I know what you like too, because you know them. So Sophia, our oldest, which by the way, for those who don't know, she's 12 at the moment.
Oh my God.
I know. Exactly. So at 12, she didn't do the physical design, but she came up with the concept of the eagle.
No way. When we were doing it.
Oh
my God.
So I was, sitting there designing stuff, trying to figure out, and I'm like, I don't really want to be the face of this one.
Yeah.
I want there to be like some kind of mascot or but it has to mean something. Everything I do means something. It has to mean something. Yeah. And so Fiona was like, why don't we ask Sophia? And because at that time she's like playing Roblox and she plays this like game where she like designs houses and she's into like the design and how things look.
Okay.
So we're like, hey, come here. And we gave her a couple hours and she came back with the concept and she's like, why don't you use an eagle? And we're like, okay. So then we start like looking into it, the actual meaning. And it's like, hey, the eagle represents freedom. And it's like the freedom to fix it on your own and the freedom of bad debt. I'm like, this could work. So then we brought it to our people and we're like, design this, make it real, build a website. Yeah. And when it was done, we brought it back to her. And I'm like, hey, look, what do you think? And she's like, you actually did my thing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And we were like, yeah, we went with it. We weren't lying to you or like trying to parent you and say it was a good idea. Like we legit liked it. Yeah. So we even had shirts made. So a couple days later, like one of the shirts came with the logos. My God. And like, dude, she worked at school. She was super proud of it.
So proud.
Yeah. Because like she did it. She's like, wait, so you really did this.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, like we value what you did. It made a lot of sense. It was a great idea. Yeah. And so like she's super proud of it. So we're happy.
I love that. That is insane. That is really freaking cool. Yeah. So why credit repair? Like, there's a lot of industries that you could have gone into after the military. Yep. And you've kind of just went balls to wall with this. Why credit repair?
So to be fair, right from the military, I went into car sales. And then I did a small transition into wireless. Okay. So it was like retail, I was working at Verizon. And then I split from that. And the reason why is because I actually had my own credit issues. Mm-hmm. So the reason I bring up those two prior jobs is because in car sales, I made a lot of money. Yep. And then when I went to wireless, I did not. Right. It's a completely different, right. So like, I mean, to be real, I was making just over $100,000 at 21 in car sales. Yeah. And then I went to a starting salary at $27,800 for the year. And the reason I did it was because it was an 8-minute drive rather than an hour and a half drive.
I mean, convenience.
And especially, remember being from Pennsylvania. Yeah. 3 feet of fucking snow, you still show up to work. Yeah. So like, it's not like Texas where it shuts down because it's cold.
Exactly.
Right? So like you still got to drive to that shit. Yeah. Anyway. So once I quit the jobs, the reason I did credit was because I hired someone because I was living a certain life when I was selling cars. Right. And then I thought I could maintain that life. Yeah. So the apartment I had was too big. I shouldn't have been paying for it. Right. My card started to get maxed out because I was trying to figure out what to do. Yeah. I had 2 of my cars repoed. So like my credit went to shit.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. Pretty much. I hired a company. And they were debt relief. Mm-hmm. They weren't actual credit repair. Okay. But I didn't know the difference. Right. So, but again, when you're like, I'm in a situation, somebody needs to fix it. Yeah. And the guy on the phone sounded good. Yeah. So I went with it. Yeah. Enrolled, fast forward, I dropped 150 points from when I enrolled to at that point. So I lost 150 points, and they had like this like escrow account thing.
Yeah.
Where, like you put money in and they'll pay your debts, whatever. And I had about $2,200 in there, and which I had to eat.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even get it back.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off at them. I said, you told me this, you led me to believe this.
Yeah.
It's not that. And so anyway, obviously I fired them.
Yeah.
And I was using social media, one, out of pettiness. And like, I'm competitive and I'm petty and I'm a child. And I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
So the petty competitive child in me was like, I'm going to blast them on the internet for my experience.
Yeah.
So I started putting it out there like, guys, I'm going to be super vulnerable, but like, here's what happened.
Yeah.
And it started gaining a lot of traction.
Holy shit.
And then I was like, well, I'm also still fucked. Like my credit, so what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And I started learning. I took a couple courses. I paid for a couple things and I started learning. And then I got obsessed with the info.
Okay.
And then so as I was fixing my own, I was posting because now you got to keep the audience like,
Yeah.
all right, you're fucked up. What's happening?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a TikTok story.
Yeah. It's like reality TV in a
Yeah.
way. Like, all right, so what's happening? So I started posting, here's what I got deleted. Oh, this month my score went up here.
Yeah.
And I started getting all these DMs and people were asking for help. Now, mind you, at the time I was still at Verizon.
Right.
So I started to notice like I'm giving people tips and it's working. And then they're sending me their screenshots. Their shit went up. They're approved for this. They bought this. I'm like, man, this is a lot cooler than trying to convince someone who walked in to pay their bill that their 13-year-old kid needs the newest iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So like I kind of have like a moment and I'm like, that actually feels a lot better than doing that.
Yeah.
And I want to repeat that feeling because I felt good. Like I felt like I was contributing. That's when I realized I'm a person who likes to feel like I contributed.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how I feel good to know that I helped somebody.
Yeah.
So then I said, fuck it. And I got out and I went full time. And
Nice.
yes, and I got
And
into
it's been
credit.
that.
Now, 7 years later, here we are.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Your story was kind of like mine. I did a debt relief program as well. And they were like, hey, you have to stop paying on ABC.
Gotta make it look bad.
Yeah, right. You got to make it look bad so we can come in and
Fucking
negotiate for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sounds terrible. But just like you, I was like, I'm fucked either way. So
Yeah.
I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I was like, you know what? Do it.
Yeah.
I went from like 750 to maybe like a 5 something. And I was like, thank God I have an apartment. Thank God I have a car. Thank God I have what I need because I'm doomed, you know? And it's so crazy that you mentioned that there's a stark difference between debt relief and credit repair. And not many people understand that because they'll negotiate it on your behalf. But, and here's the big thing that I realized too, once that debt is forgiven, the IRS might send you something saying, hey, that technically counted as income. You need to pay us back.
Yep.
And I couldn't understand that for long. I was like, why the fuck do I have to pay the IRS back? And they were like, well, you just got a bunch of free shit that, you know, MasterCard and Amex and whoever else forgave you on. So you can't just keep this free stuff. And I was like,
Because we're the government.
no one told me.
Fucking,
you know, like it was so freaking wild. And so it's wild how these companies don't tell people this and they can kind of get away with that. And so it's really nice that you come in, you have this education piece and you use the power of social media for your business. And so I see you're doing that with a lot of other people. And for a lot of people who don't know, you are doing social media boot camp and lights, camera, action and all this other stuff. And it came to a point where we literally sat down before the podcast started. I was like, what are you doing now? Like, what is your job? Are you the social media manager for the world? Like, what is happening? So where did that come from?
Yeah. So in the credit repair space, like I said, education is super important. You wish you would have known and somebody would have told you. I wish I would have known and somebody told me.
Yeah.
But instead of like constantly saying, man, I hope one day somebody starts doing something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're lucky that, so as of right now, we have 49 employees.
Okay.
So,
Oh, damn.
So yeah, it's been nuts.
Okay.
So what happened is I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to do with the time from me delegating?
Yeah.
And I'm really obsessed with teaching people stuff because when I can create that aha moment and they're like, now I know what to do. And then they do it and it happens.
Yeah.
Again, I'm looking to recreate those moments.
Yeah.
So for me to do it, I have to educate more people. This is where the classes happened.
Okay.
So then I was actually working on myself there. So if anybody's been to like my first classes from like my first like 6 months of being here, whatever, please come to another one if you stopped coming because they weren't as good as what they are now.
He promises they're better, guys.
Yeah. So it's like anything, you work on yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, I was working on my ability to communicate effectively and to take things that were very complicated and simplify them and take very long explanations and shorten them. So one, thank you to everybody who's ever been to a class because that allowed me to get better.
Yeah.
So in the credit classes, people were always and only getting invited through our social media.
Love.
So then
Wow.
they started going through our stuff. And I'm like, look, I never ran an ad. It was never a campaign. I never email blasted.
Yeah.
Like I made a post.
It's all organic.
And enough people were watching the post that they were like, okay, I'm attending.
Yeah.
Right. So just like how I learned with credit, I'm like, what else can I do to give back to people on the social media side? That's where social media bootcamp came and lights, camera, action. Like that's where all that came from.
Yeah.
So when people are like, this is what we need, if it's in my wheelhouse, I'm going to do everything I can, but I'm still going to bring in other people that are better than me in other aspects and say, can you help me collectively give back to the community that gives to us?
That's insane. I love that. It takes a really big person to realize like, I am not good at this. And because I'm not good at this, I need somebody else to come in and help me do this so that we can make this as successful as possible. And I went to your first social media bootcamp and that was freaking insane. There was so much stuff that was happening. We learned so much. I don't think I would have expected that venue to be so packed. Like I remember being in the venue. I remember that lunch line that was wrapped around. Like it, I was like, bro, are we ever gonna eat? Like there's so many
That was our one fuck up.
But it was so good. Like you had Tammy doing Google My Business, which was insane. I just did her course. So Tammy, if you're watching, shout out to you. It was absolutely insane. Like, goddamn. I wish I would have just, wow. Anyway, we had so many people just teaching about how to do Instagram reels and get more people and da. And so you mentioned something really cool. You started the secondary portion of it, your lights, camera, social media, to make people do what they're like, I'm totally going to do this. And they have 14 pages long of what they should do and nothing happens. And so I think it's the military in us, but are you a pusher when it comes
all day,
to
all day? You know how many people hate me in the beginning? Like I'll give you some other examples. So we co-host this event with Victoria Taylor. So hi, Victoria, if you're watching.
Yeah.
And she was the one initially when I taught a social media class, she was there. And at the end, she came to me and was like, what if we do something big? She's like, I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work, but I love how you teach. I do the same thing. Let's do some shit. And so fun fact, Social Media Bootcamp, which had 450 people in person and 77 on our live stream. So we had over 50 people or 500 people that were in attendance, both virtual and in person.
That's impressive.
From that conversation that Victoria and I had, from it just being a thought to the day you guys all showed up, that was 28 days.
No shit.
That was 28 days.
Y'all built that website like it was nothing though. Like that took 28 days. 28 days. Wild.
No ads, no nothing. Posting in Facebook groups, just connecting with people that pour into us and allow us to come teach classes there. 28 days, that was that. Now, lights, camera, social media became a lot of fun. Because fun fact, and I know she don't care about me saying it now, but Victoria hated being on camera.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't like being on camera like that. And so I was watching her and we would, coach through it. And I'm like, just say this. Don't worry about this. Loosen up, whatever. Like, it's fun. And she's like, no, dude, you don't get it. And I'm like, remember, you said we're doing this shit. So like, I mean, you can't, but like, you get what I mean? Man the fuck up and let's go.
Exactly.
Like you have to do it.
Especially if you're co-hosting this.
Right.
You have to be good.
Right. And one of the coolest things that she did that I forced her to agree to, of course, and I'll show it to you after this. I think it was our take 4. It was either take 3 or take 4. So what we did is we would get a listing. So we're supporting a listing agent. And we'd bring all these agents and lenders and real estate professionals to the listing. And this is where we were hosting all of those, which by the way, 2 of the agents, the listing agents, got the neighbors' listings from hosting that.
Holy shit.
Right. And they have sold, I think 1 or 2 of the 6 homes outside of that. So we were supporting the listing agents by bringing all that exposure.
Wow.
And the coolest thing that happened was the one listing had a pool in it. And so we just had this crazy idea, but again, I act on shit. So I'm like, yo, Victoria, let's jump in the pool for the video. Because we would film a promo video to say, here's where it's going to be. Here's what we're going to do. Like, so they know when they pull up, oh, that's the house. I saw the video. So I'm like, yo, we're jumping in the pool. And she's like, I don't have a change of clothes or whatever. And I was like, neither do I. And sure as shit, we did it. Right. So like, I was like, we're going to fucking do it. I was like, yo, so go over there. Like, this is what we're going to do. And like, at the end, we're going to mention like, oh, did we mention that this has a pool? And we're just going to fucking jump in. And we did it. Like, we didn't bring towels or nothing. Like, We let that hot ass San Antonio sun, like we stood in it for a while. She had one towel, I think, in her car that like we shared because again, it wasn't planned.
Right.
And like just sitting out there, like letting my clothes dry and shit, and like so we could drive home.
Yeah.
But like
that's wild.
After that, she goes, and it was one of the coolest things that happened. It was our grand finale. She said, like, Dylan has pushed me to levels that I wouldn't even think of. One being the pool, and then she was also just on SA Live.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. I'm so proud of her for that. That's insane.
So it was really cool for her to acknowledge that, like, hey, I hated everything you did to me. Yeah. But now seeing the outcome, it's amazing. And I love who I'm becoming because I let you push me in those things.
And that's the greatest feeling on the planet. Mm-hmm. I love that shit. And again, it goes back to the military, which is like mentoring soldiers and mentoring people and just like, you know, thank you for the help and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. It's so crazy to see that people don't like to hear it, but the more rambunctious and the more out there you are on social media, the more people feel like they can connect with you. Because when we're prim and proper and you know, shoulders back and chest up all the time, people, what the fuck is this? People... Damn it, another blooper reel. You know, people feel that know, like, and trust. And that's one thing I'm learning with being in real estate, which is why off camera we're talking about my blooper reels when I've noticed that those have gotten so much more impact and interactions than my, hey, what's up? Look at my listing, da-da-da-da-da. No one gives a fuck about that. Yep. They want to see how many times I've run into a chair or my cameraman has tripped on a tree. They want to see that.
Do you edit this before it gets posted?
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
If you can, I think it'd be super cool. Like, don't cut anything we're saying right now.
Yeah, not at all.
But I think it would be super cool that at this moment, because people are trying to visualize what that is. Yeah. See if you can put a clip of that video in it for the people that are going to watch. So if you're listening to like on Spotify or anything that's audio only, you're going to want to go to his YouTube and subscribe there so you can see the video. Because I think it'd be really cool for you to put the video clip in there so people can see what you're talking about.
They are pretty embarrassing.
I know it's funny, but like they don't know how funny it is. But anyway, go ahead.
It's super embarrassing, but I mean, and what's so crazy, I didn't even think about posting it. Like I was just like, you know what, whatever.
What made you post it?
Bro, blah, blah, blah. Woo, let me fix that up. I don't know what I was trying to say. Counters, brand new marble countertops. Your cabinets are, I can't say cabinets. Your master bathroom, really big master bathroom. You have your coat closet. Time for your holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. Malcolm just ran into a couch. Really, I needed to scratch my ear so bad. I don't know what I was gonna go with that. Yeah. We can actually just stop the tour right now. We already found your house for you. I needed content for the day, really, truly. Because my actual video that I was trying to make, I couldn't get done. Yep. I was like, fuck. And so I was like, well, this is all I got. Let's just throw all of the fucks together and throw all of the cursing and do it. Just do it.
I don't know if you guys understand how important it is of what he just said. When people come to me and they're like, I don't know what to do and I'm afraid of this and I can't put a script together and even if I do, I can't. They give all these excuses on why they can't do it and then it stops them from posting the video, from doing the story, from posting the picture. And then they wonder like, man, I keep putting it off for these reasons and I don't address it and then I never do it. And then I get jealous of everybody else who's doing it. So what he just said was, it was all of his fuck ups, like compiled into one video. And because he knew posting content was more important for the day, he posted the fuck ups rather than posting nothing and letting his excuses say, oh, I'll do another one tomorrow or I'll get better at pushing it off.
Exactly.
So I just want to recognize that was
done is always better than perfect. I tell people that all the time. When I had a team, I told them that all the time. Like, yo, you need to be on social media because, you know, we need to have different lead pillars. That's truly what it is. If we expect just the team leader to give you everything, we're supposed to have a lead pillar, you know, 4 lead pillars. That's where it's supposed to be. Social media should be one of them because we're real estate agents. We have the biggest impact on the market, you know, and I know you partner with a lot of real estate agents and do they ever come to you and say, hey, Dylan, you know, what content do you think I should put out? Or how does that work in your relationship with people in the real estate industry?
Yeah. So, and it's funny, just to put this out there, everything I've done for social media and like advice I've given people and tips and like all the videos we've done and all, I don't have like a secret social media company that I'm trying to get people to hire me to do stuff for them, because I don't want to fucking do it. I don't.
Yeah.
But when you do the things you don't want to do over a period of time, you realize it's not that bad, and then you get more done. So in that, when they come to me, it's usually about, hey, I kind of know what I want to talk about.
Okay.
And then at first I sound like an asshole doing it, but I'm like, oh, you know what you want to talk about? Tell me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, you know, I want to talk to home buyers. And I'm like, well, what kind of home buyers?
Yeah.
You know, and they're
What's
like,
your avatar buyer?
like, you know, first time I'm like, are you asking me or telling me? Because you said you knew who you want to talk to.
Exactly.
You know, and then there's been plenty of times where they think it's a certain topic, and I kind of pick it apart a little bit intentionally.
Yeah.
I pick it apart to say, like, are you sure you want to talk about that? Because you don't seem that comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think you want to talk about this.
Exactly.
You know, and so at first it seems kind of like an asshole move.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a perfect example. At the grand finale, there was a lady who wanted to talk to home buyers, but then she wound up switching her whole thing because she had a background of being a lender.
Okay.
And so she was really well versed in the VA loan.
Yeah.
And then, but she only felt comfortable talking about it when I drilled her with questions. And then, so her whole thing, which she thought she was going to say, was the reason that she was stiff. It was the reason that she was uncomfortable and pause.
Yeah.
But when she spoke about something that she knew, full in and out,
Yeah.
she was comfortable.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff like nothing.
Yeah.
And then after, I'm like, you know, they're going to relate way more to that because you can tell the confidence you have by talking about it when you know about it. And I was like, what I'm actually preparing you for is, if, let's say this goes viral.
Yeah.
Let's say it does. No matter how great you are as a person, there are full-time trolls on the internet. I'm preparing you for the comments that people are going to leave when they want to call you out on the smallest thing that you did wrong or said.
Bingo. Yep.
And in your profession, especially being regulated by TREC, and you know, if you're a lender with RESPA and the things you got to be careful of saying.
Yeah.
One, we want to make sure you're saying those things right. Two, we want to make sure that your personality is in there and that you're being real and authentic and genuine. And then you're prepared for the blowback, because anytime something goes viral, there's going to be 99 people who love what you said, and there's going to be one that fucking talks shit.
All the time.
So I want to prepare you for the one that's going to combat you or disagree with what you said.
Yeah.
So that's why I want you to talk about the things that you know.
Exactly. Because if you're not confident in it, you have no leg to stand on to push back.
Right.
And I think in this industry, people have to realize when you're getting successful at something, you need to be prepared for resistance. Yep. There's always going to be someone who tries to water it down or try to do the same thing that you do, but better, or any of that. And so, are you seeing a lot of other credit repair people? Not necessarily, I hate when I say it like this, but like competition, but like, you know what I mean? Like you know, I have people come up to me all the time. They're like, yo, you know, sign up with me for credit. I was like, I got a guy, you know, I got great people here, you know. Are you seeing that more frequently? Have you 100%. Been bad? Have people like, yo,
all
Dylan,
the time.
Someone just called me and
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
No shit.
So let's spend a couple minutes on competition for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's things that I say that are very direct and bold.
Yeah.
But when I get chances like this to explain it, it starts to make a little bit more sense, because not everybody thinks this way. I'm starting to learn.
Right.
So when people hear competition, I can tell you one of the most frustrating things that I see is that post that goes around. And if you're watching this and you posted it, I'm sorry. If it offends you, at least you'll think about it.
Yeah. They'll be all right.
The post that says like the people at the top are collaborating, they're not competing.
Right.
Right. So they're talking about how like competing is for the people below. So let me break this down for a second.
Yeah.
The people at the top, wherever you think this top is, whether it's financially or size of company or however you measure scalability and being at the top.
Right.
The people got there by competing.
Hello.
And they didn't get there because they said, hey, I want to support your business.
Exactly.
They didn't get there because they said we're collabing.
Yeah.
People only want to collab with people that are either equal or better than them at something.
Bingo.
But you'll never be able to show that unless you compete.
Yeah.
Now, another thing about competition doesn't mean that you're going to tear somebody down and build somebody down in order to make yourself look better.
Exactly.
That's not what should happen. Even though that's what happens, people think competing means that you think you're better than everybody and that you're the best and nobody's better than you. And they're misusing their words.
Exactly.
Competition is very healthy. It's not a bad thing, because even in credit repair, there's a lot of things I do well.
Yeah.
There's somebody out there that probably does something better than me.
Yeah.
In one part of the business or more. But once I find out, that forces me to want to be better than them.
Yeah.
So then that only makes my service better for my people. And then when they watch me, it makes their service better for their people.
Exactly.
So if everybody's competing to say, damn, you do that really well and I don't.
Yeah.
One, that allows you to put the ego down.
Yeah.
And then you can learn from it to make yours better, which ultimately makes the service as an industry better.
Yeah.
Right? So when it comes to competition, I think people look at it wrong. They think that in order to compete, I got to hate you.
Exactly.
And you don't.
Not at all.
You don't. So that statement pisses me off because it's easy to share something, but when's the last time you fact check someone said some shit to you?
Exactly.
Right? Competition is not a bad thing. That is your excuse for you to now accept all the shit you're not willing to do, because winning is fucking hard.
It is.
It is extremely fucking hard.
Yep.
But you feel better saying, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to float to the top because I'm going to collab with people so I don't have to compete.
Right. But that's not how it works.
Not at all.
Not in our industry, at least.
Nope. Not in any fucking industry.
Yeah.
I talk to so many people outside of credit, outside of real estate, in different industries.
Yeah.
And the people closer, because I never want to say the top, but people that are up there,
Right.
that are making moves,
Yeah.
like big fucking moves.
Yeah.
Think the same way. I didn't come up with that concept. That's
Yeah.
where I learned it.
Exactly.
That's where it was brought to me by the people who do significantly better than me in another industry.
Agreed.
I don't want to collab with somebody that fucking sucks,
Thank you. What's
because
the point?
then it brings you down.
Exactly.
So,
then I look
yeah.
fucking crazy, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I get that, you know, and it's so crazy because in real estate, it's just like you said, no one ever wants to say that word, and it's like it is a competition, you know. When I ran for best realtor 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever the fuck it was, coming in third fucking sucked. And then coming in second fucking sucked. And then finally this year, I'm like, fuck, yes. Like, here we go. Like, this is what, if you don't have that competition, there's no guidance. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no point to get to. And I think that one, competition, and two, direction, they play a significant role in anyone's business when it comes to growth, when it comes to success, when it comes to continuity and spontaneity in business. And a lot of people, they think that, oh, I can just be nice and everyone's just gonna love me, and
Nobody gives a fuck about you.
no one
just so you know.
cares. No one cares, because at the end of the day, if I don't sell, if you don't get a client that comes into credit repair or any other business that we are doing, we don't eat.
Yep.
We don't get a guaranteed paycheck like we did in the military, where if we can take sick days at wherever. We don't have that. If I take a sick month, I'm screwed, you know, and that's it.
Here's the reality, whether you agree with me or not, people that are watching and listening. I'm telling you right now, the reality is this. Like you said, people wanting to be nice.
Yeah.
So they say things like this. Oh, you know, there's enough for everybody.
I hate this shit.
There's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Let's say I halfway believe you.
Yeah.
If you say there's enough for everybody, I believe it's an excuse because you don't want to do the work required to go get more.
Right.
And if you truly believe that there's enough for everybody, then why don't you take everyone in your pipeline, download the CSV file if you use a CRM, and send it to your biggest competition?
Boom.
There's enough for everybody, so you'll go get more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, you won't do that? You don't want to give your next closings to the person that you despise the most?
Exactly.
Because you're allowed to have those feelings.
Yeah.
You're going to hate somebody a little bit when they do better than you.
Of course.
Because it's the mirror that you're like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. And that was my gut check to prove that I'm not.
I should have done more.
Right.
Because if that's
you know
the
you could.
case, if there's enough for everyone, why do we have such a high attrition rate in real estate?
Weird.
There can't be enough for everyone. There's no way, because I can reach a different client than Joe Schmo, than Bob, than da-da-da-da-da. And just like you can reach a different clientele than someone else can. And so it's not that there's enough for everyone. It's your clients will gravitate to you based off of who you are and the work that you put in.
Yep.
I mean, hell, for me, and it's funny how you mentioned, you know, you see something happen, you're like, fuck, that's a gut check. I live in a neighborhood that's rebuilding. That's my nice way of saying it. And across the street, 2 homes are being flipped.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll send out mailers or door knock to whenever they're done building it, because there's no point in knocking it now and it's all just construction workers. The person who owns the home's not there. Sure enough, dragged my feet. Two different agents' listing signs are in the listings right in front of my fucking house. Pissed.
And you got to leave your house every day and come home to that shit.
Every fucking day. One on my right, one on my left. I'm like, I will never let this happen again.
Yep.
I read this book, You're Too Nice for Sales, and it was a very kind way of punching you in the face. Too Nice for Sales, phenomenal book. If you're an agent, if you're someone in the service industry who feels like, oh, I don't want to be a burden, I don't want my neighbors to hate me because I keep sending them mailers, do it. Fucking do it, because you're going to end up like me and look at these listing signs every single day, all summer. All summer.
Yeah.
They haven't sold all summer, but I'm like, still like, I can't talk to that client because they have an agreement. They're both investment homes, so I really can't reach out to them. I can't put a mailer because they're not there.
Yep.
Stop being so nice and get the work done. Business is so much harder now. People are coming out of the industry. Interest rates are going up. Buyers don't want to, come in at so much. Sellers don't want to give money towards the buyers. They think that their home should be selling in 10 days like it was during COVID. A lot is changing and people are not keeping up with it. They think that they can do what they did back in COVID and just take cell phone pictures of a house, put it on the market, and
shitty iPhone pictures.
It's gone. It's the constant need of doing more. Not saying you can't be grateful in what you have, but you should always be doing more. And I don't think people understand that.
Because somebody to their left or their right, now take a second. You may have to rewind this to think about this concept and what I just said, or I'm about to say. The people that are telling you that it's okay to take a break, the people that are telling you, oh, there's enough for everybody and you should humble yourself, why are you trying to go get more? Are the people trying to get the shit for themselves and they want to feel better about the shit they're not doing. So they're telling you to do the same shit they're doing. It's the crabs in a bucket method, if you've ever heard our concept, right? So there's enough for everybody. Why don't we go out and go get drinks? It's like, no, because you fucking suck and you want me to suck with you. So you feel less bad about yourself for sucking.
Exactly. Misery loves company, and people are just like, hey, I'm sucking. I didn't close anything this month. Hey, hang out with me today. For what? What am I hanging out with you for? The only reason I will hang out with another realtor is, hey, I want to do some calls. I fucking hate making calls. Do you want to make calls with me? You're in your CRM, I'm in mine. And we go from there. Aside from that, I ain't got much for you, baby. I'm sorry.
None. And that's okay is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't give a shit what anybody else tries to tell you. And you're probably going to think, oh man, this is a really aggressive way of thinking about it or whatever. But when you understand the background and the things that we do, it'll make sense for some people.
Yeah.
This isn't like, business is not like going to school as a kid where it's like, you ever like when you're in school as a kid, your parents are like, oh, wait for the fucking real world. When the real world comes, like they're not going to accept all that shit you're doing because you do the bare minimum to get by.
Right.
Real life in business is not to have fun right away. It's fucking war. Like, you got to go to that shit every day and understand there's people who don't like you that you don't know. There's people who don't like you and want you to lose so they can win, and they're the ones shaking your hand. There's people that want to help and support you, which is always good, but that's the smallest group of people. And nobody, no matter what they say, no matter how they confide in you, no matter how they like and love your status and say, I'm sorry for what you're going through, blah, blah, I hope everything is good. No, they fucking don't. And you just have to accept it because you're the only one that's going to pay your bills. You're the only one that's going to be able to take care of your family. So if you go into your work or your business and understand, I'm going to do everything I can to help the people that need it. You will get so much further than taking the opinions of the people who aren't doing the things that you want to do at the level you want to do them.
Bingo. That's what people don't understand. And I want people to understand that what we're just talking about is not saying fuck agent to agent relationships. Don't. It's really just get, like the Kardashians said, get your fucking ass up and work. That's really what it comes down to. You have to be everywhere. You have to do everything. You have to just absolve yourself in all of this. I use this story a lot. My good girlfriend who makes my earrings, actually, Natalia. So if you're watching, I love you, girl. she's a beast. She's fucking everywhere. Every street market she's at, every mall that has a mall mini booth search she's at. She's at elsewhere. She went down to Corpus Christi. She is fucking everywhere because she understands this is her passion. This is her life. No one's just gonna come to her and say, hey, Natalia, I love these earrings.
Let me buy them all.
Yeah, give me 1 million of them. No, she's fucking everywhere. And I relate that to my business. If anyone has watched Cruella on Disney, if you remember when she was trying to be in front of the Countess, but trying to also take over and build her brand, chick was everywhere. She was lighting her dress on fire. She was coming out of the trash chute. She was everywhere. And that's how I align my business in everything. Not because I hate someone and I'm going to their event all the time. I use the fact of being everywhere in my business, whether it's social media, whether it's this podcast here, whether it's door knocking, open houses, etc. Because the best thing that you can have is exposure. And I remember I went to an award gala maybe about a month ago, and people I didn't know, and I say this as humble as possible, people I didn't know were coming up to me and they're like, you're back with another hat. I love your fucking videos. And I was like, thanks, who are you? Like, not like that, but like, thanks for loving my videos. That's just what it is. When it comes to real estate, you can't come in business and expect it to just work instantly.
It's not going to be handed to you.
Yeah. I mean, 7 years down the road, you're still finding things where you're like, I can do this better. I can do this different, you know? And here I am 3 years in and I'm like, whoa, I like this, that this person is doing. How can I incorporate myself into it and put it towards my business? So, I mean, it's kind of ripping off and duplicating, but it's also putting your personal spin on it.
That's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Nobody's reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
Things I've said this entire time and I'll continue to say, I didn't just think of it in my mind.
Yeah.
We've all learned something from somewhere. Nobody is that fucking creative, especially in today's day, to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Right? But if you put your twist on something, that's okay.
Bingo.
The shit that blows my, like, it boils my fucking blood is when someone is so lazy that they think they can copy and paste their way to similar success of the people of what they do. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, and there's people that know that are actually doing it right now. There are specific people right now that are doing it because they know that it gets to me.
Yeah.
And I have no problem admitting it.
We see you.
But but the reason it frustrates me is because they're wasting their potential on finding what their uniqueness is because they're taking the lazy way out to try to copy and paste me. And I'm like, you're fucking wasting your time. If you would focus your energy on other things other than how can you copy my shit, you would be so much better off in winning at a higher level that you wouldn't care what I do.
Bingo.
But
no, that's the thing.
I mean, it probably makes sense because that person's overweight too. So they're lazy.
Well,
oops.
Whoops.
Yep.
Well,
damn.
Well, back to social media bootcamp because you're coming with a 2.0.
Yeah.
Do you have a tentative date yet? Do we have something to look forward to?
So it's November 2nd.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the Arena at Techport.
Okay.
So we have the website. You can go to the website. You can follow our social media to get it.
Yeah.
You could even go into Eventbrite right now and type in Social Media Bootcamp 2.0.
Okay.
And it's there.
Nice.
So we're excited because with Techport, and it was, I went there, it was Sabor was throwing an event, Damon John was there.
Yeah.
So I went to that.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was ever in Techport.
Yeah.
I walked in and the first thing I thought of, I was like, we got to have Social Media Bootcamp here. I don't care what it costs. I don't care who I got to talk to. I don't care. Like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is the mentality you should have for everything.
Everything.
It was almost like a manifestation. I went back there a couple times after that. There was even one time they were setting up for something.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I can't let you in. They're setting up. And I talked to like another random stranger, kind of made him a friend. And then he walked me in there and let me do it. So like, I was committed to doing it because I knew that when people show up, because I'll give away my big fucking secret. And probably the dude's going to steal it. I don't give a shit.
He bribes them, y'all.
Like, when I saw it, I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And then I even started telling people that, hey, we're going to have it. And it was before it was locked in. Because to me, I'm an under pressure person.
Same.
So like, I told some people and they're like, you're doing it there?
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I guess I better go figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, because I need that pressure.
Yeah.
And I manifested it and forced myself to do the things to get it.
Yeah.
And now we're holding it there.
I love that.
So like, that's why this is like so like special to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like it's one of those things like, you know, like correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that almost like a similar thing like with the Tesla? Like when didn't you like always want a Tesla? And like,
I did.
And now you have one.
Bing.
Right? So you did the things to get it.
Yeah.
So Social Media Bootcamp 2.0 is going to be the biggest, the fucking coolest, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think it's going to be the coolest and biggest event in San Antonio for any business owner, entrepreneur, real estate, anybody who just wants to get better.
Okay.
Because the purpose behind it is not for you to get likes and comments. Because I know some people like, hey, social media is just like, it's whatever to me. I don't care. I'm not posting my food.
Right.
I'm not trying to teach you how to post your food.
Right.
I want to give you the exact strategy that helps us get attention, and which, by the way, that attention converts to business.
Bingo.
So that's the idea. It's not likes and comments. It's how to turn those eyeballs into business.
Exactly.
People that need to know who you are and what you do. So then that way, in a time in their life when a problem comes up, they know you're the one that can solve it.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's how real business works.
Yeah.
It's not about marketing. It's not SEO stuff. It's not funnels. Like, it's all free organic ways for you to learn how to get actual business. And it's not just to say, let's get a bunch of clients, but it's for you to solve the problem in your unique way, which is why I say uniqueness is so important.
Yep.
It's for your unique way to say, I'm the man, I'm the woman for the job.
Bingo.
Like when it comes to credit, anytime somebody mentions something about credit, I want them to think of me.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
You're the first person I think about.
So like, and that's the goal.
Like
and
I go into my experience, it has nothing to fucking do with you. I'm like,
right.
Hey,
dude,
I
had a lady who messaged me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And she made a payment on her credit card.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's not posted yet. Like it still shows the balance.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
You're like, great. Okay.
And where are we going with this?
Yeah.
But I was the first person she thought of. So before even calling her credit card company to find out why it didn't go from pending to posted and understanding there was a couple day delay,
Right.
she messaged me, a complete stranger, because that was our first message exchange.
No shit.
First message. I didn't know her prior. We didn't like go to school together.
Just a random Sally Sue.
Random.
Wow.
Random. And was like, I've been watching your stuff for a while, and this is kind of this weird situation. I don't know why it's not showing up, but can you help me?
Yeah.
And I was like, And at first I was like, really? Like that?
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, Dylan, you asked for this.
You did.
And then so
Yeah.
I reflected for a second. I was like, this might be one of the coolest moments of my fucking life.
Yeah.
So again, I want to help people create more of those moments.
I love that, man.
And that's what Social Media Bootcamp 2.0 is.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So what concept am I talking about on Social Media Bootcamp?
What do you want to talk about?
Anything.
What are you comfortable with?
My life. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, all right, I'll give you a little snippet or a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to be doing is a panel.
Love.
So, we have our couple speakers.
Yeah.
But then we have a blocked out time for panelists.
Yeah.
That can work.
Wepa. Let's do
That
it.
can work. as long as you're okay being in front of at least like 700 plus people.
NBD.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah. Here we go.
But if you really want to, man, I'd be more than happy to have you on there.
Yeah.
As one of the panelists to speak. So the concept is going to be bring up about like 4 or 5 people.
Love that.
And, we'll at a later time talk about,
of course,
like things you're comfortable speaking about and what you can go off on and stuff like that. And we're going to make it big.
Love that.
We're going to make it really, really big. So that'd be awesome.
Put a pin on that one. Guys, if you don't understand what just happened, ask not, get not. Seriously.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you're not going to get. Whether it's the opportunity that was just in front of me here, getting your next listing, getting the appointment with your buyer, whatever it is, just ask for it. The worst Dylan could have been like, nah, man, we're full. Maybe next time. And I'll be like, okay, well, podcast is over. Get the fuck out.
Yep. That's how I got all of my opportunities.
Yeah.
I just asked.
Yeah.
Like, mind you, I moved here from Pennsylvania, July 2020. And
Wow.
so how do you think we got in places?
Yeah.
At first I would show up and I would support. And then I'm like, hey, this is what I do. Would you ever be open to having me come in and educate some agents or do something?
Yeah.
And some people said no and some people said yes.
And people who said yes, you're like, fuck it, let's go.
Right.
People who said no, you're like, all right, whatever.
And now look.
Move on. Here we are. Now
So-
people are calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever business you do, or let's even take it to a personal level for a second. Anything you ever want. Let's say you're working somewhere. You're not a business owner, entrepreneur. You're just someone who's watching.
Yeah.
You're working at a job and you want to get a promotion. You think you should be paid more, whatever. Ask. Now be prepared, right, for what the answer could be, because it could be a yes or no.
Yeah.
And you cannot be offended if it does not go your way.
You just got to work
Right?
harder.
You just got to work harder and prove to whoever it is that you're asking for something that you deserve and you've earned it.
Yeah.
and you never know. Like that's how all these connections happen.
Yeah.
So
That's it. That's it. You know, and circling back, I think maybe like 2 points ago when Dylan said, all this shit is free. Like in real estate, and if you watch the last podcast, I admitted to having shiny coin syndrome where at a point I had maybe like 5 CRMs at the same time.
God damn.
I know, because it was like, oh, what's the best? What's the best? What's the best? What's the best? It doesn't matter what the best is. The best is what you use. And it goes back to getting leads. If you're just organic and if you use social media intentionally, if you run your Google business page intentionally, thank you, Tammy, it works. You don't need to pay for ad spend. I've spent thousands of dollars on ad spend. I think my first year of having a team, 2021, I spent $35,000 in ad spend. I did not even get a fraction of that back. So
it's like a Model 3.
Yeah. I mean, hello. Like, sorry guys, I love y'all to death, but that's the fact of it. You know what I mean? 2022 slowed that down a little bit. In 2023, I don't do any ad spend, and I've almost doubled my numbers, you know? So
you're number one.
Yeah. Number one realtor in the city.
Doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Here we are. And I won by a lot. So
dang.
It felt nice to say that.
So now we're gonna go to like Model S, get a plaid.
I'm not that rich yet.
No?
I'm not there yet. We got some things to do. I want to buy another house. I'm saving up for a wedding, so we have a lot
going on.
Save up for. Yeah.
I just remember do you remember? I mean, it's a complete gear shift.
Yeah.
But do you remember at your one open house? Like this was a while ago when I showed you TikTok.
Yes.
And I was like, let me show you whatever in the music. And you're like, nah, I hate that music. And like, it was those moments though. Like, I don't know what just made me think of it, but I'm like, man, that was like back then where you're like, no, I'm not doing TikTok. I do like Facebook and Instagram and like, I'm good with that.
Here I am.
I was like, nah, this shit's pretty cool. And like most people, especially at the time, are like, no, I'm not watching fucking kids dance and do dumb shit. I'm like, no, you can do real estate. Like you can do whatever. And like, now look at your videos. And I'm not saying I have anything to do with that, but it's just the like, hey, why don't you just try this? Yeah. And you did it and you ran with it and you kept going. Exactly. And now you're number one in the city.
Yeah. Word to the wise, if something is new and everyone's flocking to it, put your shit in that new stuff, even though it's not there yet, as expeditiously. Yep. I'm pissed I didn't join on that TikTok train back then.
Yep. Did you do anything with Threads?
I started a Threads. Yeah. It exists.
But it's hard to like.
It's hard because of Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it. His mama named him Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. That's what his mama called him. So I mean, I have Threads. Yeah. I post maybe once a week to make people know I'm still alive. Yeah. But aside from that, meh. Just because they don't have all the functions yet still. Their video capability is still kind of low. There's still no DMs. And in businesses like this, most people don't want to put on their timeline, hey, Mark Anthony, I want to buy a house. Right. This is my credit, X, Y, and Z. Right. You know, so meh.
So even though it's your podcast, I want to ask questions. That'd be fun. Because number one in the city. Yeah. Right. What advice would you give with the understanding that you know there's somebody that internally competes with you on here? There's multiple people. Yeah. What advice would you give the person who wants to try to come at your number one title?
I would say authenticity is what builds the brand. When I realized that I didn't have to be, and I say this with as much admiration as possible, I don't need to be Robert Elder. I don't need to be Stephanie Paxton. I don't need to be Trey Sariano. I don't need to be any of those other awesome agents that I look up to in my market. I just need to be Mark Anthony's gay, loud, rambunctious self. And that has really led to just an astronomical following of people. I would say that if you're looking to run and become number one, you have to be everywhere. If there's a letter fucking opening, you're there. If a new business that has nothing to do with your business is opening, hey, what's going on? My name is Mark Anthony. I wanted to welcome you to San Antonio. Congratulations on your business. If you need anything from me, let me know. Give your value by helping other people. I think that in real estate, when we have accolades like number one realtor in the city or top 100 for NAREP, it turns into all about you, and people see that. If it's all focused on you and not the outwardness of people, because we are still a service industry, people will see right through that. And you'll never be any closer to being number one today than you were a few months ago. You know, you just be authentic, man.
So he just said, you have to be you. And also, you have to compete.
Yeah.
And you're competing with your own comfortability level of what you're willing to expose and put out of who you are.
Yep.
But he realized once he did that, business went booming.
That's it.
Because people can only know, like, and trust you when you allow them to get, what's the word I'm looking for? When you allow them inside your mind and when you allow them inside your life.
Exactly.
So as soon as you open that up,
Yep.
all of a sudden there was more people that were like, man, I fucking like this dude for
Everything
all the
changed.
reasons that you thought they probably wouldn't.
Bingo. I was so scared, and we're getting slightly deep. I was so scared of my femininity for a second that I was like, I can't be that. You know, I have to add a little bit of bass in the voice. I have
Even
to,
when I first met you, I
Yeah.
remember from there to now.
Yeah. I was terrified being here in Texas, of all places, being a feminine, gay black man here. There was so many things I thought I could not do. And then I realized, girl, no one gives a fuck about any of that shit. Can you help them buy or sell a house? Yes or no?
Yep.
And that's just what it is. And since then, every single day, and I guess this is another tip for people, and this sounds really corny, but I think of my life as a reality TV show every single day. And people want to see that. That's why Selling Sunset is so crazy. Selling the OC is so crazy. All the housewives shows, people are tuned in because they want to see who this person is or who that person is, and etc. And granted, we cut and mute and, aspects of our life, but people want that. And so every minute I wake up, I, do my little hair flip and call it a day, throw on a hat and get some shit done. So if you're looking to build an audience of people who actually interact with you, number one, and two, turn those interactions, like you mentioned, into actual business, you have to think about your life as a reality TV show, put everything on camera, cut accordingly, and just post it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just has to be done.
Here's who I am unapologetically. And I'm here to serve. Here's my mission. Whether you like me for any of the personal things or not, nobody gives a fuck.
No one does.
I'm going to do all that I can to help people, no matter what you think of me or say of me.
That's it.
That's what he's saying.
That's it.
That's the key or the secret that, like, the gurus try to sell you on a class or a course or whatever. Say, oh, you want to be successful in real estate? This is how you do it.
Yeah.
He just gave it to you for free.
That's it.
Just
Don't
saying.
pay for the $9.99 course. You can send some money over to me. I'll add my Cash App in.
Did you hear what happened with Cash App? You're still using that shit?
Shit. Okay. Venmo. Is Venmo safe? Can someone in the comments let me know if Venmo is safe? What about PayPal? Do we accept PayPal? No, someone just got scammed on PayPal.
Yeah. And Zelle.
Fuck. Just send me money to my P.O. box. I don't know, man. So as we come to our final thoughts, is there anything that you want to, leave our listeners and our watchers with, and then also tell them how they can reach out to you if they need any questions on credit repair or they want to know more about your social media bootcamp summit or lights, camera, action or any of that?
Yeah. So final thoughts are, man, I feel like I almost just said it, but I want to repeat it because it's so important. Don't be afraid to compete. Don't be afraid to find out what your potential is, because that's what you're really doing when you're competing. For example, it's like being in the gym. You can work out. Let's use the bench, for example.
Yeah.
And you could bench every single day, right? And you get sore and it hurts. And sometimes you lift a little less, sometimes you lift a little more. But then you start working towards that new PR.
Yeah.
And the day that you hit it, it makes all of the pain and the soreness worth it, because you're like, oh shit, now I'm here.
Yeah.
So treat that scenario with your whole life. Do the same thing. So I'm obsessed with finding out what my potential is.
Yeah.
Everything I've accomplished or done or any accolades, so like how cool social media bootcamp was, how cool lights, camera, social media was, how cool the amount of employees or the amount of people we helped, the amount of people buy a home, even though all that's cool. And I feel like you feel the same way, because you're like, even though I hit number one, like that's cool. It's like, what's next?
Bingo.
There's nothing wrong with the what's next. If somebody tries to tell you you're doing too much, you're working too hard, why do you care about that? You're never going to be satisfied if you're always looking for the next thing. Don't listen to any of those fucking people. The question you want to ask them is, if I take your advice, will I end up like you? And let them think it. And if they get offended by that, they know they ain't shit. So
You heard it here first.
lastly, we give everything for free. by the way. So I'm not a secretive person. I believe in giving everybody everything that they need. So if you were to go find on either Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you can search me, Dylan Shively. You can look up my wife, Theano. You can look up James Warren Group. You can look up Dispute Eagle. Just Google any of those things. Go on social media and go search them. You'll find we exist on all those places.
Yeah.
And if you go through all of our stuff, you would never even have to contact us. And you can fix or learn about anything related to it. We give it all away.
Wild.
We give it all away. That's big. Go scroll through our shit and prove me wrong. We give it all away for you to actually fix your situation.
Yeah.
So,
and that is how you know that is someone who is just committed to service when it comes to people. You know, at the end of the day, as long as people get the help that they're looking for, that's all that we are trying to do, you know, and I absolutely love that. And so thank you so much for being here. We've been
thanks
friends
for inviting me, man.
a long time.
I was waiting for a lot of bad shit to come up too. Like, cause you know, we always talk shit back and forth.
Yeah.
And I always got to tell Theano too, because sometimes I'm like, yo, look, we were talking shit, saying this, I'll send it. And she goes, but that's so mean. I'm like, no, he gets it. Like, we're cool like that. Like, when you have a background in the military, like, you get it. There's another layer of skin that you have. That is like, we can talk shit and know that it's not real.
Exactly.
Like, we're not doing it intentionally, be, you know, whatever.
Yeah. It's all love.
Is super cool to be here. I was so surprised when I got the message. I'm like, oh, he does love me. Okay, I'll come. I mean, it sucks that you still have an iPhone and haven't seen through that yet. But I was waiting for one of those to come up, but I'll bring it up since anything.
Guys, don't listen. So we're turning this off. Dylan is a Samsung Android to the death of him. I don't understand it.
Well, I'm gonna take a picture of you after this, and then you're gonna want me
just
to
like you did at my one open house.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really good photo, though.
Yeah. You should just see what the new one does now.
Wow. Well, anyway, so we can wrap this up. Thanks, y'all, for listening. I really appreciate it. If you got value out of this, if you're interested in the James Warren Group, Dispute Eagle, Social Media Bootcamp, I'll add all of Dylan's links over in our YouTube space. So if you're listening on audio only, you have to go over to the YouTube to find it. You already know how to find me, or if you just happen to find me on the For You page, at Mark Anthony Ball on almost all social media platforms, or you can just search me on Google. Everything will pop up. You already know what I'll say. I'll see you in the next video. I'll show you the house next door. I'll show you the house across the street, but you got to know who you have to subscribe to. So see you soon. Bye, guys.